Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. While Lynn finds out she had a son, Sidwell prepares Alexis to fall. Isaiah and Jordan get steamy, Lois gets questions from Ned regarding Sunny and Gio, and Joss gets ready for the WSB on today's General Hospital. Sunny informs Lois in his new location that he has seen Gio mature, but that he is willing to put himself in Joe's shoes if he feels it would be best for him. After Sunny questions Lois about her faith in him around Gio, she adamantly states that she does. Upon her arrival, Carly is taken aback to find Lois. Carly asks if she may be excused for popping in, saying she was just curious to see the new house. Gio was the only topic of conversation, according to Sunny. Lois and Sunny fill Carly in on Tracy's reaction to Sunny putting up an educational trust fund for Gio. Lois leaves, and Carly observes that he is making a significant investment for Gio. Because the Cerullos are his family and because they are unable to pay for Joe's schooling, Sunny is pleased to help out. However, Tracy told out that people get wounded due of him and said just look at Michael. Carly adds Michael is the other reason she stopped by. Their son is making progress, she says, he even called her. Sunny urges Carly to give him his affection next time they talk. Carly hopes Michael will call him, and he loves him too. Lulu confronts Lynn. Lulu enters in the front door of the Quartermain estate and sees Lynn talking to Dante. Dante asks Lulu whether everything is good. Lynn is pleased to see Lulu, and says Granny is on a tear and she's one of the few who can calm her down. Lulu thinks she's not doing Lynn any favors after what she's done. Lynn says, "Excuse me?" Dante again asks Lulu if she's okay. Lulu thinks on finding out about the pregnancy, and Carly's counsel. Lulu says she just doesn't want to get involved in Lynn's difficulties with Tracy. Lynn storms off, and Dante asks Lulu what that was about. Lulu declares she's done coddling Lynn as everyone else does. Dante is done refereeing her and Lynn, and he has to deal with what transpired between his dad, Gio, and Tracy. He takes off. Lynn goes to her room, and Lulu pounds on her door. Lulu storms in and instructs her to close the door as she doesn't want everyone in the home to hear this argument. Lynn asks what this is about. Lulu shouts, "It's about how you've been lying to Dante for years." Lynn tells Lulu she is done being nice to her for her granny's sake, so if she has something to say it. Lulu informs her, "You had Dante's baby and never told him." Lynn is startled. Dante apologizes to Sunny. Dante drops by his father's new apartment and jokes if he had a priest come in to cleanse the place of the Cassidines. Dante wants to come apologize for what Tracy said and say that what he's doing for Gio is generous. He wishes he had spoken up for him. Sunny argues if he agrees with Tracy, he doesn't have to apologize. Dante doesn't agree with Tracy, and says Jason and Michael all are happy to have him in their lives, and he appreciates him. Dante asks why this Gio thing is bothering him. Sunny doesn't want Gio to feel forced to take his money. Dante proposes he tell Gio he doesn't have to take his money and it won't cost him their friendship. Sunny moves to how Dante is doing. Dante assumed that finding out what happened to Sam would give him closure, but it hasn't. He believes he's having a hard time managing because of Lulu. Ned questions Lois about Gio. Lois returns to the Q mansion seeking for Tracy, but Ned says she's out for a ride. Lois feels Tracy's gone too far and fills him in on Tracy intervening in Sunny's granting Gio an educational trust fund. Ned believes that this time, his mother is right. Lois snaps that he's never liked Sunny, but Ned says his mother probably questioned why she's letting Gio tie himself financially to Sunny. He knows she's dedicated to Sunny, but what if Gio wants to follow in Sunny's footsteps to repay his debt one day? Ned is also confused, as she typically puts guard rails up when Sunny's money is concerned, so why is it different when Sunny's money involves Gio? Brook learns she had a boy in Lynn's room. She won't confirm or reject what Lulu has said. Lulu says she read Martin's files, and knows she had a son and put him up for adoption and never told Dante. Lynn cries, "I had a son?" Lulu says she would almost buy this emotional act if she hadn't seen Martin's notes. She accuses Lynn of employing Martin to discover her boy and shows her the phone images she took of his notes. Lynn swears he never went to Martin. She reveals she had a baby, she gave birth in San Francisco, and she didn't know if she had a girl or male. She never even held him. She tells Lulu she has never looked for him and she never talked to a lawyer. Lulu claims then her mother did, when Lois showed up at Martin's room. Lynn questions how Lulu acquired this information. She instantly believes Lulu broke into Martin's room and collected this info unlawfully. Lynn believes this has nothing to do with Lulu. Lulu says her son Rocco has a half-brother. She says Dante cares about her, and she feels Lynn cares about him. How could she have his son and never inform him? Lynn tells Lulu that she got pregnant in high school and made a decision, and people supported her. She took a different choice to give her child a better life, as she wasn't ready to be a mother. If she told Dante, then her decision would have been taken away from her. Lynn tells her not to judge her for her choice. Lulu claims she's not judging her for her choice, but her lies. If Lynn doesn't tell Dante now, she will. Sidwell sets Alexis up at Windmere. Alexis asks Sidwell where he found that dagger. He says it was in a cabinet below. She thinks it should be in the bottom of the harbor, which is where she threw it. Alexis reveals Helena Cassadine had it, she was her stepmother, and she used it to cut her mother's neck. Sidwell is stunned and offers her a drink, but she swears she's sober. He prepares himself one and asks if she witnessed her mother's murder. He promptly apologizes and claims his curiosity often gets the best of him. Alexis explains that Mikos was her father, her mother Kristen was his mistress, and yes, Helena murdered her mother right in front of her. Sidwell is apologetic. She notes he doesn't appear like someone who is easily surprised. He feels she doesn't seem like the kind who would disclose something with a stranger. She takes up the dagger and says it keeps reappearing like it's haunting her. She thinks holding it again is horrible and throws it down. Sidwell asks what she wants him to do with it. He says he can take it if she wants, as Helena left it to her. She tells him it came with the house, therefore it's his property now. Alexis sees herself out, and Sidwell picks the dagger up with a rag so his prints don't get on it. Jordan and Isaiah have dinner, and more Isaiah stops by Jordan's apartment. She was expecting a meal delivery and squeals as she's in a robe, has her hair up, and has a face mask on. He jokes that it's good to see her for once not looking perfect. She cleans herself up, and he admits he ran into the delivery person carrying her lunch, and it's now all over the sidewalk. He offers to make it up to her and cook something, but she has very little in the kitchen to work with. Isaiah manages to whip together pasta with what she has. She is impressed and asks why he stopped by. Isaiah says to see her, and he thought they had to pursue things in private with her going after Sidwell publicly. He doesn't want to rush her, and if she's not ready for anything, that's okay. However, he is really curious in exploring what this may be between them, even if it's just here in this apartment. Jordan admits she believed meeting in secret would be sexier, and here she is in sweatpants. He tells her she is sexy, but he can go for a run to become sweaty if need be. She can think of other ways to work up a sweat and pulls him into a kiss. After they pull away, Isaiah attempts to encourage Jordan to give up busting Sidwell so they don't have to snoop about. She refuses, and if he doesn't want to do this her way, then he may opt out. Carly puts her foot down outside of Bobby's. Jack accepts a call from Colette, informing him on Joss' progress. Carly enters and finds Jack sitting at a table and thinks back to their chat on the pier. She approaches him and didn't expect to see him here again. He smiles at her. He wants to know what occurred between them the other night and how they got off track. Carly informs him that she was misleading herself into thinking that their lives were compatible. He tries to sway her opinion, stating he wants a commitment, but she says she has to be honest with herself about their differences. Jack advises her to take care of herself and exits. Joss proves herself worthy at the WSB training facility. Joss thinks back to saying goodbye to Dex. Her handler, Vaughn, appears and says her break is ended, and it's on to the next step. They work at jabs and punches, and Vaughn antagonizes her as she's been up for 48 hours. He's studied her files and knows she's an affluent girl, so why this? Why is she here? Joss says she's seen people die and others use their power to hurt people, so she wants to balance the balances. He tells her if she means that, there's the door and gestures to it. Vaughn calls her an idealist, and there is no room for that here. He claims the WSB alters individuals, and there is no one more corrupt than a person who used to have ideals. She wonders if he believes in anything. He deems himself pragmatic. She informs him that they aren't the same, and she can't give up what she believes in. He flips her and tells her, rule number 1, never fight fair. He asks if she still thinks she has what it takes after pinning her a second time. He advises her she needs to pull out all the stops to survive, pull, scratch, bite. She kicks him in the nards, and he goes down. She says, something like that? He groans, yeah. On the next General Hospital, Lulu pushes Brook Lynn to make things right, and Valentine tells Charlotte it's time they say goodbye. General Hospital spoilers, as Carly grows closer to Jack, who will sound the alarm to her. General Hospital spoilers say Carly Spencer is becoming intimate with WSB Chief Jack Brennan, and someone is going to notice. Will a red flag get waved before she's in too deep? So far, Jack has been staying on Carly's good side, but she has no idea what he's been doing with regard to her daughter, Jocelyn Joss Jacks. When Jack set out to entrap Joss in a world of spy games, he appeared like her mom's new love interest who had befriended her and taken her mother under his wing. Now, he appears like a bit of a manipulative bully. But does it mean Joss is going to be the one to speak up and protect her mom from another heartache on the horizon? General Hospital spoilers, others have tried. Let's not forget that Carly has already been warned about Jack on many different occasions. Months ago, when Jason Morgan was traveling to Somalia with Police Commissioner Anna Devane, he encouraged Carly to remain clear of Jack and his mysterious ways. Instead, she jumped in head first to lean on him for help. Even Anna tried to tell Carly the guy was bad news, but she wasn't hearing it. If she's not willing to receive sage advice from her best friend or the municipal police authority, who will she hear it from? GH spoilers leak the call is coming from inside the house. It's possible, but only Joss can make her mom stand up to what is occurring here. Misled by Jack and lured to Cyrus Renault's cabin, Joss never would have been there if not for him. Why did he send her on this fact-finding journey for him? Why did he set his eyes on Joss as an asset to the WSB agency? As she begins to explore these matters, will she risk everything by telling her mom the truth, including her latest choice in careers? General Hospital spoilers, a Carson reunion? Could it be that when Carly learns what her boyfriend has done, and how he targeted Joss with the aim of railroading her off track and into a career she feels bound in, she would seek out the one person she knows who will always have her back in a scenario like this? That individual is Sonny Corinthos. While Jason may have Carly's back, too, he's not keen on feeding her thirst for retribution. Sonny, on the other hand, won't tolerate Jack's underhandedness even if Carly was warned and pursued him against her own better judgment. Will it be Jack's treachery that spies the reconciliation so many are expecting shortly between Sonny and Carly? General Hospital spoilers, Sidwell's Cassadine connection. Why does he have Miko's dagger? General Hospital spoilers and speculations imply Jen Sidwell may have a Cassadine connection. Why did he choose to buy Windmere and Spoon Island? And most importantly, why does he have Miko's Cassadine's dagger, and what's his interest in Alexis Davis? Natalia Ramirez being Sidwell's ex-wife may provide a hint. Natalia Ramirez being Sidwell's ex-wife may provide a hint to Sidwell's Cassadine link, but it may be deemed a shaky one. Natalia, who claims to have grown up and lived in Puerto Rico, where Sonny Corinthos has an island, could possibly have lived in Brazil. Years ago, a penniless Cassadine cousin named Dimitri Cassadine came to Port Charles and had been courting a woman named Pilar. Could Pilar be Natalia? Dimitri built a commercial partnership with Sean Dunley and the Quartermain family. He stayed around long enough to wreak mayhem for the Quartermains, subsequently disappearing. Dimitri Cassadine stole the Quartermain family blind. Dimitri teamed up with Sean to plot the downfall of the Quartermains and take their immense family riches. However, in a twist of fate, he betrayed Sean, who desperately attempted to notify the Quartermains of Dimitri's devious ploy. Unfortunately, his warning came too late. With crafty precision, Dimitri managed to claim the whole Quartermain wealth and went to Brazil, leaving no trace behind. Fast forward to the present, he's linked with Drew Quartermain where he wanted to team up on the Esplanade project. His interest in Alexis? If Sidwell is truly Dimitri Cassadine, then his interest in Alexis is simple. He's trying to lure in the one surviving Cassadine to his side who's available. If Victor Cassadine were still alive, he may have sought to link himself with him. Although he's made no mention of Valentine Cassadine, the two have both operated as mercenaries. If he knew where he was, he may have phoned him. Alexis wouldn't know about Dimitri, his having left Port Charles for Brazil 10 years before she came up in Port Charles, and it's improbable any other living Cassadines know who he is. We also must consider Sidwell has avoided the one Quartermain who may remember him and the devastation he caused Tracy Quartermain, instead honing in on Drew. Sidwell/Dimitri and Drew Quartermain have this in common. Sidwell/Dimitri and Drew Quartermain have this in common: they both feel and have been abandoned by their patriarchal families. If Sidwell is actually Dimitri, he may have gotten Nico's dagger, having indeed found it buried in the different rooms of Windmere. The last time anyone saw it was when Julian Jerome put it on Alexis' throat, but Helena Cassadine threatened her with it too. But since Julian passed away in 2020 and Helena in 2023, and Victor turned up later along with Nicholas Cassadine, the dagger may have slipped back into Windmere. Now going by the name Jens Sidwell, Dimitri could have been observing the lives and deeds of numerous Cassadine family members all that time, including Alexis. Brook. Lynn's world explodes. Isaiah opens up to Jordan, Alexis' history returns to haunt her, Jocelyn's WSB training hits a hitch, Ned agrees with Tracy over Lois, Carly is surprised to see someone, and Lulu prepares to unleash her truth bomb on Brook. Lynn. Ever since Isaiah arrived in Port Charles, sparks have been flying between him and Jordan. I am very interested in seeing what this could be, he informs her. But is she as fascinated as he is? Alexis didn't appreciate being called to Windmere because the Cassadine house gives her the chills. But it became even worse when Sidwell presented a box containing the blade Helena used to kill her mother. Where did you get that? Alexis demands to know. What is Sidwell's link to the Cassadine family? Jocelyn's family assumes she's out on a trip for school, but she's actually secretly preparing to be a WSB agent. Unfortunately, things don't seem to be going particularly well. If you meant any of what you just said, her trainer, Vaughn, says, there's the door. But like her mother, Joss isn't one to admit defeat so lightly. Ned and Tracy don't always see eye to eye, but this time around, it's Lois who finds herself the third wheel. This time, my mother's right, Ned told his ex-wife. Can Lois say or do anything to change his mind? At Bobby's, Carly stops short when she sees someone sitting at a table. Didn't expect to see you here again, she remarks. Is Brennan not given up on her? Despite Carly's cautions that revealing Brook. Lynn's secret will have unintended effects, Lulu seems eager to tell Dante that he has a son out there. When she stops at the Quartermain mansion, Brook. Lynn casually begs her for help, which sets her off. I'm not doing you any favors, Lulu snaps. Not after what you've done. Can Brook. Lynn keep Lulu from telling Dante everything? Here's why 911 fans are familiar with Joss's new handler on General Hospital on GH. Bryce Durfee might go a touch dark as his character is a spy. But trust us, he won't get anywhere near as dark as his 911 character did. The Agent Vaughn era of General Hospital begins as we get a first glance at Joss's WSB handler. Yes, Carly and Jax's daughter is the newest WSB recruit. Of course, Carly has no freaking idea that Brennan pulled her daughter out of small-town New York obscurity in favor of developing her into the next great WSB spy. But first, she needs training. And Bryce Durfee's brand new persona, Agent Vaughn, will reportedly assist her through this weird realm. 9/11, we have an emergency. Bryce Durfee might be a novice to GH, but his list of small screen credits includes shows like Last Man Standing, Faking It, Driven, Man with a Plan, and Yellowstone. He even played a male model on an episode of Bold and the Beautiful. But did you know that the Nebraska native guest starred in 5 episodes of the hit firefighter drama 911? During the show's 5th season, back when the series was on Fox and not ABC, Durfee was part of a high-profile plot that ended up being one of the show's all-time finest arcs. In fact, just a few months ago, Collider labeled Durfee's storyline 911's best plot twist and detailed how nothing on the program has ever equaled that twist. Durfee played EMT Jonah Greenway, who was called on to work with Hen when the squad was short-staffed. Hen had difficulty embracing Greenway, and eventually, her suspicions proven accurate. It found out that the paramedic was a serial killer with a hero complex. His modus operandi was proving he had people's lives in his very hands. He would overdose his victims, and when they were on the point of death, he would resuscitate them. It made him feel like a god, and he drank up the praise that came with these heroic saves. But sometimes, he couldn't save them. It turns out his fascination was derived from an event he had when he was 13 when he stopped a man from dying of a heart attack. Adult Greenway was a sick puppy, and together, Hen and Chimney teamed together to bring him down, but not before Greenway tried his magic out on Chimney. It was the dramatic culmination of an intense, well-executed, well-acted plot, and Durfee instantly became one of 9/11's most iconic villains. Rick Lansing has always been a man with secrets, and his latest entanglement with Ava Jerome is no exception. While their friendship has gotten increasingly intimate in recent weeks, there's always an air of doubt about Rick's genuine intentions. He's a man who has never been able to totally commit, and with temptation waiting in the shadows, his allegiance to Ava may soon be put to the ultimate test. Ava, despite her normally guarded personality, has found herself dragged deeper into Rick's world. Their nights together have developed into something more, something that hints at the prospect of a real relationship. But not everyone is sure that Rick is capable of sincere dedication. Nina Reeves, for one, has made it apparent that she doesn't trust him. She's attempted to warn Ava that Rick is only looking out for himself, but whether Ava chooses to listen remains to be seen. The real question is, will Nina's warnings prove to be right? A dangerous attraction. Rick and Ava may share a bond, but old habits die hard. Rick has a history of chasing his own ambitions, regardless of who gets wounded in the process. And it seems that history may be repeating itself. The pull of former love, unresolved sentiments, and the solace of familiar arms could easily lead him astray. One name that continues to recur in Rick's life is Alexis Davis. The tension between them has always been complicated, and in recent weeks, the walls that formerly kept them apart have started to disintegrate. Alexis, still hurting from the loss of Sam McCall and the unending disclosures about Cyrus Renaud, has been seeking solace wherever she can find it. Despite her initial resistance, she allowed Rick to comfort her, sharing a moment of vulnerability that none of them expected. That encounter may have been brief, but it kindled something between them, something that may be harmful. A past that won't stay buried. Rick and Alexis have a long and convoluted relationship, filled with passion, betrayal, and sorrow. But no matter how many times they've walked away from one another, fate always seems to drag them back together. With Alexis laboring under the weight of her loss, Rick has positioned himself as her source of solace. At first, it may be little more than emotional support, a shoulder to rest on during her darkest moments. But as they spend more time together, the borders between friendship and something more may start to blur. It might start with a simple discussion, a late-night rendezvous when words morph into murmurs, where old scars reopen and old wants resurface. And then, in a moment of weakness, they may give in to the one thing they both vowed they wouldn't. The fallout. If Rick and Alexis rekindle their affair behind Ava's back, the ramifications will be explosive. Ava is not a lady who forgives lightly, and treachery is something she cannot tolerate. Though Rick and Ava's relationship is still fresh, there's an unspoken understanding between them, one that does not include lying. If Ava finds out that Rick has gone back to Alexis, the impact will be devastating. Ava has spent years studying how to protect herself from heartbreak. She has fought too many battles, lost too much, and given everything to get to where she is now. To have Rick betray her in such a way would not only kindle her rage but could also force her to retaliate in ways no one expects. Alexis versus Ava, a war brewing. Ava and Alexis have never been close, and if Rick becomes the wedge that drives them further apart, things might become ugly soon. Ava is not one to sit back and let someone grab what belongs to her, and if she believes Alexis has taken Rick from her, she won't hesitate to hit back. But Alexis is not one to back down either. She has endured too much heartache, too many losses, to let Ava dictate her choices. If she and Rick find their way back to one another, she won't apologize for it. The antagonism between these two ladies is already smoldering, but Rick's infidelity could drive it past the breaking point. Lies will be uncovered, secrets will come to light, and before long, the battle lines will be set. Rick's reckoning. Rick has always believed he can outmaneuver anyone who stands in his path. He's a master of manipulation, a man who understands how to manipulate any circumstance to his advantage. But this time, he may have miscalculated the ladies in his life. If Rick thinks he can juggle both Ava and Alexis without consequences, he's in for a big shock. Ava is a force to be reckoned with, and if she feels betrayed, she won't stop until she's made Rick pay for his infidelity. And Alexis? She may not be the spiteful kind, but she's not naive either. If Rick is merely using her, if he's playing her the way he's played so many others, she won't hesitate to walk away for good. In the end, Rick may find himself alone, the very thing he's been running from his entire life. What happens next? With tensions mounting and secrets waiting to burst, Port Charles is poised to be shaken by yet another scandal. Rick's betrayal, Alexis' anguish, and Ava's wrath will combine in a maelstrom of passion, deception, and revenge. The only issue that remains is, who will come out on top? Rena Sofer opens out about wanting to semi-retire. With a career that took off in the late 80s, Rena Sofer has been keeping active for decades. And while she's presently in the thick of a big storyline on General Hospital as Lois prepares for the secret she's been concealing about her daughter's child to blow up in her face, she's also making preparations to take a step back from showbiz. Sofer's career starting off with stints on Another World and Loving before she joined the team of GH as Lois Cerullo in 1993. Her role on the ABC serial garnered her a Daytime Emmy Award for Outstanding Supporting Actress in 1995. She also played Quinn Fuller on CBS Sudser The Bold and the Beautiful from 2013 to 22 before returning to GH in 2023. And that's not even counting all of her work in primetime with starring parts on Melrose Place, The Chronicle, and Coupling as well as guest appearances on shows like Seinfeld, Bones, Ghost Whisperer, and 2.5 Men. Last year, Sofer wedded her ex-husband, Sanford Bookstaver, and told Woman's World that they are still in the honeymoon phase. Still, the couple are planning to sell their home in Los Angeles and make a move to the East Coast where they can settle down. When we got divorced, I had no interest in dating, Sofer revealed, so I opened my life to a bunch of different things. Now, we kinda want to semi-retire, so my bucket list is building a home that we don't have to ever leave if we don't want to. There will be a big studio downstairs for my woodworking and ceramics, and a dog room so we're able to foster and keep our animals and give them space outside. Of course, the actress still enjoys the work, having just wrapped the independent murder mystery movie Death on the Brandywine with All My Children's Walt Wiley and One Life to Live's T.C. Watkins. And even when she and her hubby have settled on the East Coast in their ideal house, Sofer promised her supporters she's not planning to entirely retire. I would be open to anything and everything, she insisted. Lulu confronts BLQ about the baby and threatens to expose her, Joss trains with the WSB, and Sidwell gets Alexis' fingerprints. Alexis tells Sidwell how Helena killed her mother, Carly tells Jack their lifestyles are incompatible, and Jordan tells Gannon they can only see each other on her terms. At his new house, Lois and Sunny chat about his position in Joe's life. She still trusts him around Gio. Carly shows up, astonished to see Lois. They explain they were discussing about family stuff. They discuss Tracy trying to stop Gio from signing up to the educational trust Sunny put up. Lois takes off. It doesn't surprise Carly that he's motivated to take care of his family. He wonders if Tracy might be correct about him posing a hazard. Carly ignores that and explains Michael called and is making progress in therapy. She assures him Michael loves him too. Lulu comes at the Quartermain home and finds Dante and BLQ in the lobby. He wonders if everything is okay given the look on her face. BLQ urges her to calm Tracy down but Lulu refuses to do her any favors after what she's done. They're taken aback. Lulu thinks back to finding that Dante fathered BLQ's baby and Carly trying to get her to keep this a secret. Lulu tells her she'll have to tackle her Tracy issues herself. BLQ stomps off. Lulu refuses to coddle BLQ and he explains he has to leave and deal with something with his dad at Gio. BLQ heads to her room to phone Gio when Lulu shows her, stating they are far from done. Barging in, she advises she close the door and confronts her about lying to Dante for years. BLQ yells that she has no grace left to show her. She's surprised when Lulu boldly confronts her for bearing Dante's baby and without notifying him. BLQ won't confirm or deny so Lulu explains she viewed Martin's files. She's horrified to find she had a boy and starts crying. BLQ denies ever seeing the lawyer and Lulu shows her a copy of his notes. "I had a baby," BLQ reveals. She never hugged him or realized he was a boy. She's never sought for him or talked to anyone. Lulu guesses Lois did. BLQ guesses that Lulu got the information illegally and asserts this has nothing to do with her. BLQ feels she's being a hypocrite who regrets the choice she made. Lulu insists she's not judging Air for her choice, but her falsehoods. If BLQ won't tell Dante the truth, she will. Dante goes to see his father at his apartment and apologizes for what Tracy was saying. Sonny says he can defend himself. His son admires how he's assisting Gio and he should have spoken out for him. Sonny feels happy that he's not agreeing with Tracy. He appreciates what he's done for all his kids. They chat about how Gio feels about taking his money and how it might affect their relationship. Dante talks about how he has no closure learning what happened to Sam. Lulu is making things worse. He says that BLQ has been assisting with his sadness and that's hard on Lulu. Lois returns to the Querertmains, eager to confront Tracy. She goes into Ned and yells about the trust. Ned admits his mom was correct for once. If she lets Sonny create a trust in Joe's name, he will feel obligated to him. What if he feels like he needs to do him a favor one day and ends up in the line of fire? He wonders why she suddenly puts blinders on concerning Sonny. What is it about Gio? At Windmere, Alexis is astonished as Sidwell shows her the dagger he found in the cabinet. She believes it should be at the bottom of the harbor. He can sense that has some meaning to her. She reveals it was handed to her by Helena and it's cursed. It was used to slit her mother's throat. Lucy didn't tell him anything about that. He needs a drink. She stares at the dagger. He asks if she witnessed the murder. She explains that her mom fell for a Cassadine and had an affair with him. Helena murdered her right before her eyes. He's surprised and thinks that's disgusting. He's startled she's sharing this with a stranger. Looking at the dagger and clutching it, she claims it keeps reappearing like it's haunting her. She flung it in the harbor. He says she can have it but she insists it comes with the house and bustles off. He picks it up with a napkin and examines it over. Jordan is mortified when Gannon comes up at her door and she has her beauty mask on. He confesses he ran into her food delivery person and spilled her meal. He offers to cook for her but she has no food. The doctor says he's been known to work a miracle. She's amazed he managed to cook pasta. He reminds her they were supposed to pursue whatever this is in secret. As she grabs ice cream, he says they are cool if now isn't a good moment for her. He's interested in seeing what they can have and wants them to be truthful about it. She thought seeing each other clandestinely would be sexy, not her in pedicure pads. He offers to bring the sexy and they kiss. Jordan misses her pad thai but this is a welcome surprise. They kiss some more until the topic of Sidwell comes up. He wonders if she truly wants to pursue that. She's not dropping it. If he can't handle it, he can walk. As Jack heads to Bobby's, Colette calls to inform him on Joss' improvement. When he enters and gets a table, Carly goes in and recognizes him, recalls his suggesting there's something going on between them. She sits and he wonders what's changed between them. Carly argues their lifestyles aren't compatible. She can't stand being with someone who defuses explosives and sleeps around. He leaves. Joss is moping in TWSB as she thinks of Dex dying. Vaughn interrupts and announces they need to go on to the next step. They start bickering and he remarks about her being a rich girl, so why she is there. When she claims she's joining the WSB to pursue justice, he adds that if she believes that, she should head for the door. If she wants to be idealistic, she can join the Peace Corps. The WSB changes people and no one is more corrupt than a former idealist. She thinks he's being cynical and insists she can handle this. He flips her and instructs her to never fight fair. She kicks him in the shins. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.